to welcome all of you to the second of our Brown Bag Lunch series to celebrate the exhibit that you passed out in the library's atrium hosting on history of territorial Arkansas. And we're honored today to host Professor Billy Higgins here, Professor of Geography and History at the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith. Billy's been with us since 1994, and among other classes, teaches Arkansas history here at the university. He's published 5 books, including one called A Stranger and a Sojourner, Peter Calder, Free Black Frontiersmen in Antebellum, Arkansas, that was awarded the John G. Ragsdale Prize for Best Book on Arkansas History. It was published in 2004. He's also written about Fort Smith, vanguard of the Western Frontier, 1817 to 1896, and also a history of our beloved university, University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, the first 85 years. That's published in 2012, so we'll be expecting an updated edition soon. But without further ado, I want to welcome Billy Higgins today.
Thank you, Jason. Thank all of you for being here today. Thank you, Ann, Shelley, and Paul, who were involved in getting this great territorial Arkansas exhibit together. 15 panels. What I want to say is African Americans in territorial Arkansas. It goes on to mention free black people, which is a term used by the U.S. Census back in those days, and so it refers to people of African descent by law. In the Antebellum period, that was pretty important, that distinction, because we had race-based slavery in this country, and there had to be definitions of the race. So the other term the census used is mulatto, which meant what we would call today mixed bloodlines. And then there were people of African descent that were usually called black people. African American was used in those years in some cases, but didn't have to wait a lot of times. These are people that you see on the screen during the Antebellum period who made their mark on history. One of them made their mark on history in Arkansas. That was David Hall. 1780, he was born in North Carolina, and he expired in 1852 in Arkansas. He's included in this book, A Stranger and a Sojourner, which is more about a soldier who came up the river and helped found Fort Smith as part of the Rifle Company. There were some notable free black communities in Arkansas. The one I studied was the last one in Marion County, named after Francis Marion Swamp Fox, who was from South Carolina. There was Marion County, South Carolina, too. Fort Smith Van Buren had a free black community. The one in Marion County caught my attention when I was at Fisk University once. In the 1850 enumerated census, there were 130 members of the free black community on the White River in Marion County, Arkansas. So that sort of caught my attention, but I was working on the exodusters in those years, and I just kind of filed that away. The more I thought about it, the more substantial that seemed. A state that only had 608 free black people in the 1850 population. So I began to think about it. Didn't do anything about it for 19 years. Went to live on a farm in the Ozarks, where I raised cattle and pigs, and tried to keep the foxes away from the chickens on the way back out there. I baled hay, weeded the garden, sawed lumber. And without doing those things, I didn't know I was in training at the time, but without doing those, I could have never written this book. Because that's what the people, white and black, did in North Arkansas during those antebellum years. Anyway, the one in Marion County caught my attention. I was on that farm for 19 years, didn't do a single thing about it. And then got to come to work here. And first thing I did was chase the historiography. I wanted to know who'd written the book on that free black community in Arkansas. And no one had. So I wrote 2 articles, gave a paper, and then wrote the book. And in so doing, I learned a lot about primary sources and where to find information on people who didn't leave necessarily a written record of history. That was a chase that led me all over the state, actually all over the South. And in so doing, the remarkable thing about the Marion County Free Black community is I believe it was the largest of its kind in the entire slave South. And when I say of its kind, I mean a viable community that had people every age that we have in this room, that had young males, vibrant females. I know they were vibrant because they attracted people of African descent from out of state, so it was illegal to come into Arkansas as marriage partners. And the community continued to grow and have children. Actually lived there for over 3 decades. There are 3 decades of census records. And they bought land. That's in the patent records. And they had close calls, narrow escapes. They hunted cougar. They had starter stock. The patriarch did with David Hall for these other family members to get started. It's an amazing story. That's it up in the northern part. The other communities that were listed. The one down here on the end is in Antebellum, which is now got flooded. That was a roustabout town. It was a steamboat stop. Fuel took on groceries, water, and all the steamboats flying the Mississippi River loved to stop there. I guess the food was good. There was a free black community there. They had stevedores that would load and unload. One interesting thing about Hogan, which did get inundated, and now you can just see it across the bayou over there, this bit of land where it used to be. In the Antebellum period, you had to have papers if you were a free black person, if you went away from home. Because by law, any white person could stop and ask a black man for their papers. So they would also have slave patrols that would be on the lookout for runaways or anybody who was not where they were supposed to be. And this is another unique village in slave South, in that they would recruit some of these free black people in the Hogan to serve on the slave patrols. I thought that was pretty remarkable itself. David Hall, I call him a patriarch because he came in 1819 up the White River with his wife. He brought his family from Bedford County, Tennessee. To get here, you have to go down the Mississippi, get the White River, and he came up the White River past Batesville, found him some good land, and he homesteaded and settled here. It's where Bull Shoals is now. And then he went and patented that land, wrote the Batesville a few years later, went to the land office, bought his land just like his white neighbors did, and so did his relatives, including his sons and son-in-laws. U.S. Census were an important part of the investigation to help me define and use their definitions. U.S. Census is, as always, it started because we had representation in Congress and electoral college. We needed to know how many voters are out there. So, of course, when it was in 1790, Thomas Jefferson was the superintendent. 1820, they're taking the census in Arkansas. Not too hard a job. Except the census takers are U.S. Marshals. They're sworn to duty. And they're sworn to go to they're sworn to visit every household in person. They are their deputies. And then they have a strict format by law what kind of information to record for the census. Each census grows in the amount of data throughout, all the way up through 2020. Every census has grown in the amount of data that they collect. So the 1820 was just an age, by 1850, they're enumerating. They're enumerating all of these things here, so you can get a pretty good picture of the community. And one of the other things that the census roll does, as you see, the neighboring families, the census taker goes out and the first house they visit is number one, the one next to it is number two, the one next to that is number three. And so you get a numerical count of the households, so you know who's living next to the, maybe a mile apart, not just next door, but you get an idea of who all's strung up in that river. The census marshals are U.S. Marshals, as this says. They're part of the U.S. Marshal Service. It's very strict and important. As important as the contemporary record, it's even better for us historians. By 1860, this is a enumerated census, not just the numbers. That's a little bit different. When you get it on microfilm in places like the Family Center, you can go in and you can see the household, you can see the first name, you can see the ages, all that thing. By 1860, they had an agricultural census, which is amazing. It's in the appendix in this book, showing how many lambs they had, how many, what their milk production was, how many bushels of corn they made, whether they kept bees or not. So you can get incredible information about Arkansas farmers in the 1860s with that agricultural census. One of the primary sources I used in constructing the history of this free black community, such as these things. And then you got to use the she leather. You got to get out there. You got to wade through the weeds in the cemeteries that are grown up. You have to convince your wife that this is a good way to take a vacation. You have to visit kinfolk that didn't even know they were kinfolk. And where there's a color line involved, sometimes that's never offered, but always ironic. And then you get to have to know the whites in the neighborhood. They're going to give you some descriptions, and they're going to give you, in this particular place in Arkansas, the black families and the white families, man and woman power was very important to early Arkansas in this territorial period. There's a lot of work to be done, and a lot of it has to be joint work, either by families. You're going to get all the cousins and uncles in there, or the neighborhood, build a barn, or reap the crops, or hunt down the lost cattle out there in the woods. All of that, and there are certain skills. Not everybody can build a chicken. Not everyone can keep cougar dogs. Not everyone can train a horse. So, not everybody can make whiskey. They can all cook. So these skills are used by the community. So this creates a tighter community there of whites and blacks. And that's where it was located. Calder Homestead is underneath something I found in the records. Someone's memories is Calder Mountain. Spelled a little differently. C-A-W-L-D-R. But Calder Mountain is one of the few places that I could find in Arkansas or in this country that was named after African American, person of African descent. Geographic features of them. Hispanic, yes. Caucasian, yes. Native American, yes. Very few things have been actually identified with African American. Calder Mountain, and that's in Arkansas. Calder, it turns out, married into the David Hall family, raised 5 sons, and got recognized lately by the Daughters of 1812. One of the Arkansas veterans of the War of 1812. His name appears on a stone tablet sitting on the Arkansas State Capitol grounds. And you get primary sources like this. Just if you're a researcher, it just makes your day, makes your week, makes your month, makes your year. Here's Peter Calder's name, written in 1821 by a scribe post-summer school. Because they didn't pay the soldiers very much then, they had to write everything down. One of these pages every single day for 3 years. One of those is held at the Arkansas History Commission, one in the Navy Library at Yale, one at the Gilchrist Archives in Tulsa. So you can see right here, Major Calder's on the same page as Major Bradford, the commander. So they didn't pay either. Bull Shoals was built during the Roosevelt administration, backs up a great reservoir and lands of the halls. Calder was up on the mountain, but the halls were down along the river, now inundated. And there have been people that, in the Arkansas Archaeological Association, talk at least about marine archaeology. The largest community of free black people in Arkansas. And here's the thing about that community. I was trying to explain that as you go. Rural, self-sufficient, agricultural, and rural. A lot of free black people in the South had been set free because they were either women who were bearing children and couldn't work, weren't needed in the household, or older men who couldn't work and had to be kept. In other words, there were these age extremes, and so those free black people didn't do much to promote their own issues and interests. But when you have a community like this, there are sharpshooters who keep dogs, who own guns despite the law, and who go to Batesville and buy their land, they're part of the community. And that community was growing and growing and growing for 3 decades, and then there was murder that happened. And let me show you a graph that comes in the book here. These 2 young men over a ferry. Hank Hall was coming back. He was the black man. Apparently he hitched a ride on the ferry. William Colbert, the white man. They were both 27 years old. Must have got into some kind of argument. Both had families. Both had children. One black, one white. The white man died. There was a trial. The black community was well off enough that they could hire a pretty good attorney, a couple of pretty good attorneys from Batesville. The courthouse burned down in Marion County, and the trial records no longer exist. But Paul, the black man, was acquitted for the murder. It appears in the Arkansas Week newspaper of the day. Black man acquitted of murder of a white man. In 1852. And that was when the detentions were getting so great. I'll talk about the explosion law in a minute, but here is, in this graph here, you can see this is the percentage of taxpayers in the overall population of Marion County. You can see they were going up, and they were paying a lot more taxes, which meant they were owning more livestock and more land. And then the murder occurs, and you can see the drop. First off, those lawyers, I surmise, were pretty expensive. And then second, the racial tones in the late 1850s were getting, sides were being dropped. There was more racial tension than ever before. And then they passed the law that our legislatures, who are the cream of our crop, the font of our wisdom. The ones who passed the backpack law for public schools, for instance, in modern times. Also pulled a good one here in 1859. They thought that the free black community might ignite a slave rebellion in Arkansas. And so free black people had to leave the state or be sold back into slavery at courthouse steps within a year, or they could find sponsors. And that finished off the free black community in Arkansas. As it says here, 16 families, 150 people abandoned land that they had bought, paid for, homesteaded, and farmed for 40 years. And in some cases, they were in their third generation. So it took me a while to find out where they moved to. It was in Bowdoin County, Missouri. Anybody been there? It's just like Arkansas. Just like Arkansas. Dirt roads, small, impoverished farms, small schools, RC cola trucks. Going to one store in the town. I thought Missouri was a wealthy state. Where they flooded the land, the Corps of Engineers had to move the cemeteries. So there is a cemetery, you can visit this, it's called the Promised Land Cemetery. That's a traditional African American term for a lot of things. And there is a white church on Promised Land Road there, the cemetery's here. And some of the white people who have moved away from their farms and got flooded have monuments like this. And these are unmarked wood gravestones. And the wall over here is loaded with rock and wooden gravestones that don't have any names. And they've been disinterred where they were first buried by the river. They're floating, and the kind of see is Zelda. Ever been through Zelda? Historic site. Found a tombstone there in one of the halls. You get to travel covered bridges up there. Research on the hall family led to those things. It led to it being included in 2 textbooks. Our Arkansas history book now. It led to this thing I mentioned earlier, inclusion on that rock monument Peter Colliers made. To explain the mulatto thing, there were because the territorial exhibits mentions free blacks and mulattoes out there. In Arkansas, if you had one great grandparent who was of African descent, you were by law in the Antebellum period black. The census takers would put P, or W, or M, depending on what their call was. It was up to the census taker who went by the reputation in the neighborhood. There are a lot of trials, and we have books in this library, a lot of trials involving whiteness. It's a big issue at the end of it. You could be a slave. So, what does whiteness do? It's always determined not by an MD or DNA test in those days. It's determined by your reputation, what people think you are. And in Mississippi, of course, just recently ratified the 13th Amendment to freed slaves, stipulated 1 drop of equal blood. Now their legislatures are really good there. So free black people have the same human qualities, values of home, hearth, family, earning a living by honest labor, gaining peace, like had the same grace. And for a while, it was a true mixed race and colorblind or racially unbiased community in Marion County. I ran across this up in Bollinger County. This is a Hall daughter. You see, she's pretty light skinned. She's married to a white man, Benton Randolph, and this is a descendant of Peter Calder, holding horses. Over the years, I've heard from a lot of, since the book came out, I've heard from a lot of descendants of the Halls and Calders, and they have sent me pictures. Want to see some of them? This one was in Bollinger County. This is the Reverend David Hall. He's the grandson of David Hall, who first came up the river in 1590. He's married to a white lady, and I don't think they're child. I got these pictures sent to me. This is a direct descendant of Peter Calder and his wife. These are not their children. These were the neighboring children. I can't tell much about it, so we kind of doctor it up. This is a relative of Peter Calder, Anna Selena Calder. I've been in touch with her. She sent me memoirs, oral history that she had taken. This is from a woman in Detroit who sent me a picture of her granddad, related on the Calder side. This, and also related on the Calder side. And this is on the Hall side, southern Missouri. And that's this right here is Ernie Chilani's rendition about Peter Calder. So do you trust Ernie Chilani? And next week you get Private Henry A. Strong, 12th Kansas Infantry's impersonator Tom. Thank you very much.